Hi, I'm Ivana Baquero, and you're listening to Chris Gordon on Ramblings of a Hellblazer.
Okay, so everybody, I am very proud and happy to bring Ivana Baquero here tonight, or today, wherever you are in the world. So, hello, Ivana, how are you?
Great, thank you. It's nighttime over here in Spain at the moment, so it's almost bedtime, but it's great.
Awesome. Well, that's not too far away from where I am in the UK, so it'll be early morning for the US. Excellent.
Definitely.
Okay, so as you know, we've got lots and lots of questions from the adoring fans of yourself on the Shannara Chronicles. So I'm going to go through a couple of general ones here now, and then we'll go straight into asking all of these in a chatty kind of way.
Definitely.
Yeah, keep it nice and informal. So, who or what inspired you to become an actress?
Wow, that's a great question. I mean, for me, it was a bit of a different process because I started out of chance in this acting world. I was 8 years old, and I went to the American school all my life, thus the accent. So they sent this audition through to my school because they couldn't find any English-speaking girls in Spain that they liked for this movie they were shooting in England, actually. And, they sent through the audition. Everyone went. I went because all my friends were going. And they actually got me for the role. So that's how I started. So I didn't have any figures or anything that initially inspired me. Obviously, as I grew older and as I got more and more into acting after Pan's Labyrinth and everything, I started getting inspired by different actors, by different people like Natalie Portman, Jodie Foster, um, Leo DiCaprio. But yeah, I started out of chance. It's really funny.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting story of how you got into there. You mentioned Pan's Labyrinth as well. You were, what, 12 years old when you did that? And they rewrote the script, didn't they? Because you were slightly older than the...
So I was 11, 12, exactly. I actually turned 12 while I was shooting, and I think the girl was supposed to be 8 or 9, really young. And then again, they couldn't find anyone they liked. I went to the audition. It was funny because I made everyone cry in the room because of the scene I was doing. It's the one where I'm speaking to the pregnant mother. And they instantly got me for the role. Guillermo came over with the script in the hand. But yeah, I was quite young. I was 12 when all that happened.
That's still pretty impressive, though. 12 years old, and you won an award for it as well, didn't you, for your performance?
I actually won a couple. I mean, it was overwhelming in a great way. I had the opportunity to go to so many festivals and travel the world. Literally, from South America to Asia, obviously the States, Europe, and I got the award for Best Young Actress in Spain, and a couple of other ones in the States, and that was really what marked a before and after in my acting career, because that's when I realized that there were people believing in me and backing me up in a serious way, and I really wanted to commit, and that's when I started really not taking it as a hobby, but as an actual profession.
Awesome, excellent. So what kind of role would you aspire to be? In film, TV, theatre, anything? What would you love to do?
Well, I know it's funny because it sounds too appropriate, but Eritrea is literally the kind of character I've always wanted to play because I'm a massive fan of fantasy. Tolkien, I've always read his books since I was really young. Lord of the Rings, I've always watched the movies, The Hobbit. So I always had this joke. I said I wouldn't mind being a tree in one of those to be able to experience all of that.
Yeah.
And this is exactly the kind of production I've been dreaming to do because of the effects, of the storyline, such a badass character that it's literally the kind of character I was hoping I would sometime get, and I get it now, which is such a blessing.
Oh, that's really cool. Well, you could have been a tree, you could have been an ant. Awesome. What was the most difficult scene for you to film across all of your work so far?
Um, I've actually had a couple ones. I think difficult. I guess there's difficult physically and difficult emotionally. Um, Emotionally, it was this movie that I just filmed. It's Spanish. It's called Sister of Mine, but it's not released yet. And it was really emotionally hard because the character's really she goes through a lot in the movie. She literally goes through, drugs and a lot of problems. It's a very actor driven movie. It was very interesting for me to do. I learned a lot, but it was complicated. A lot of hours of work, a lot of character development, and then I think probably physically, I would say it was either Shannara or maybe definitely Shannara was physically a challenge for me.
Awesome. Well, there's so much physical. Well, there's a lot of physical work in there for you, isn't there? A lot of fighting and just being outdoors and action. So I can imagine how much that would actually drain you if you're not physically fit
Yeah, I mean,
and mentally as well.
no, they had us there a month earlier to prepare, so
Right.
I got ready, and I'm actually I do enjoy fitness. I do enjoy my little yoga and stuff. But nevertheless, I mean, you're working a lot of hours doing scenes over and over. We all wanted to do our stunts, and we had an awesome stunt team. But we were all really committed. So it got to a point where we would get injuries, and because our bodies just couldn't hold up anymore, and that's why it was challenging physically. But it was such a new experience for me, and I really enjoyed it, and it made me love all of this like fitness world, and I never thought about it as a lifestyle,
Yeah.
and honestly, I do now. So I guess it also influenced me personally.
No, that's really cool. Unfortunately, I work in a sedentary job, and that's visible, not from you, because you can only see me from this. Sadly, the fitness has gone down. So. Cool. Okay, we'll go into the questions from the fans that have been sent in. So Nicola Aconfora has asked, Eritrea is a kick-ass girl. How are you in real life?
Thank you, by the way, for the compliment. I take that as a compliment. I'm from Eritrea, and I'm quite. I mean, there's a lot of things we have in similar, but in that particular sense, I would say we're quite different because I'm pretty relaxed. I'm very family oriented, just really laid back. So I want to think I'm kick-ass in certain things, but I don't think I'm kick-ass in that way at all.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. Okay, we've got Zed as well. I'm simply known as Zed. There's some really great Twitter names. I say this every time. I just keep coming up about these names that people call themselves. So, is Eritrea going to speak Spanish at some point? And if not, was that something you really wanted to do?
Well, it's something, to be honest, that never came up because obviously this is all based on Terry Brooks. Eritrea is never contemplated as Spanish speaking or speaking any other language other than English. So no, it was never spoken about.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. Did you ever try on elf ears?
And it's such a pity though, but you know what? I felt like I would betray Eritrea if I tried them on. But I didn't get the chance. I mean, obviously it's a process to put them on. They also have to do an allergy test. I'm sure Poppy would explain this very well to you. So it would have been just way too complicated. So I didn't, unfortunately. Maybe in another life.
Maybe. Yeah, I can imagine you're probably very tempted to, though. Cool. Zed also would just like to know, it's not a question, but she'd like to know you're such an inspiring person.
Thank you, Zed.
Okay, so Serena Volpe is the next one. The first question from her is, what did you think about Eritrea's personality and behaviour?
That's a good one. I mean, when I get a script, I don't like to judge my character at first because it's really easy to do so when you still when you still haven't really learned about her and gotten to really sort of bond with her, is what I say. Get to know the character. So I don't like to judge her, but when I read it for the first time, even though I obviously thought it was a great role, very complex, super interesting, I thought, she's just so sassy sometimes, but it's all because she's putting on this shield because she's been taught that she's got to be selfish to survive. So you can't really blame her for what she does, and we have to remember in the first episode, she tells Cephalo, it's my first time going solo. So she really doesn't know about the world. She hasn't had the time to experience, to meet people, and to decide for herself. So I think I can't judge her for what she does. I think she's doing her best for the environment she's in.
Okay. If you could write your own story about Eritrea, what would you like to have happen to her?
One, because I love writing and reading. So, well, I sort of do know what happens to her. I won't spoil anything, but I would definitely, I mean, in general, what I think is the best thing that could happen to her is that she met someone truly that treated her well, that swept her off her feet, and gave her the love she's been lacking and that she terribly needs. I think that's the best thing that could happen to her.
Because probably a lot of fans would say they'll be quite happy to be that person. What would you do if you were in her shoes? Even that's another question from Serena. Would you?
If I was in her shoes, I mean, it's hard to say because she's really tough. I mean, she's had to endure a lot of things, and even still, she chooses to pursue her freedom and to get out of all of that, even if she doesn't know if there's any better, if the world is any better out there. Um, so I think she's very brave and inspiring in that sense. But I don't know. I mean, I don't see myself as being much of a survivor. And I think, quite frankly, that I would probably want to stick with the Rovers because it sounds like the safest option. And I admire her so much for being brave and just wanting out and, contradicting everything she's ever known. The man that she's most scared of, the only man she's probably scared of, Cephalo, she confronts him. So I think that's something that can be learned from.
Cool, definitely. Very strong character and, like you say, very brave and powerful. So, what do you think about the way she relates to people, and how much do you think her past has influenced her present? Kind of follows on a little bit from where you were just talking.
Yeah, totally. I mean, she as I was saying, she's got the shield on, so she obviously pushes everyone away, and that's how she relates with people. She doesn't really relate with people because she doesn't want to bond. She doesn't want to catch feelings, as they say. She wants to be on her own. She thinks it's best because she can't hurt herself. So that's how she treats Will. That's how she treats Amberly. And her behavior, I think she's really raw and instinctive, and that's her behavior initially. But what I love about Eritrea is that she is a really complex character, and because she's got this deep inside, this little heart that needs loving, like anyone, this drives her to change and to want to change and to learn so many things throughout the story. And when she meets Will and Amberly, it's like suddenly the gears in her head start like moving, and she sees a new horizon, and she realizes that there's more to the world than just being selfish, and she's got to learn to become selfless. And I think that's her journey, and that's what I love about the complexity of her character.
Awesome, thank you. So, next question we've got is from Anne Deutsch, and Kate Holmes also asked the same question. Let's try and bunch them all together. What was your biggest challenge as Eritrea?
The biggest challenge was probably to not play her as a one-dimensional character, because the thing with her is that it's really easy to fall into just playing the badass side and just playing the rough side. And I wanted people to really empathize with her situation so that, again, she wasn't just being judged by what she was doing, and people could really see into what was going on. So that was one of the big challenges, to make sure that there was a balance, to make sure that I was showing the vulnerability at the right times. And yeah, it was probably the biggest challenge to sort of balance her emotionally.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Next one's from Juliana is Dead. Interesting. What do you think about the relationships, especially Amber Tria, which is Amberly and Eritrea? Especially after I've not seen episode 6, but I've seen some of the clips last night, and it was, yeah, I've got to say there's probably quite a few people intrigued now.
I know. It's a good reason to watch it.
I know, yeah.
Well, the relationships with only with Amberly or with Amberly and Will?
Both, between Amberly and yourself, and obviously Will as well.
Well, with Will, he's someone, he's a kind of person she's never met before. He's naive. He's selfless. He's really generous and kind, so that instantly attracts her, and that's one of the reasons why she likes him so much, because he's suddenly something she's never seen before, and it's something that she sort of wants for herself. It's the part of herself that she's missing, and that's what he sees in him. And with Amberly, it's really complex. It really is, because they're both polar opposites, but at the same time have so many things in common. I mean, obviously they come from really different backgrounds, but they're both trying to overcome this world of men and trying to prove their worth, and they're really willful. They're very strong female characters, as we've spoken. So for one, they have a lot of prejudice against each other for obvious reasons. One is a rover, one is a princess. So that's what initially collides. Obviously then they have the same love interest, which doesn't help. And then come all the complexities of how different they are, and how they're just constantly judging each other. But that definitely changes throughout the season. I'm not going to say how. No, but there's bigger things at stake. There comes a point where, sometimes I have to side with Will, sometimes Will has to side with Amberly. It's not that simple anymore, and it's not just a simple love triangle. Everything keeps changing depending on the stakes of the story and what's happening.
Okay, excellent. Can't wait.
So much.
Sorry?
I'm rambling so much.
It's ramblings of a hellblazer. If I just go ahead and you're more than welcome. Everyone wants to hear you, so that's fine. That's a great answer, as you say. It was great to actually be able to see this developing as well, the relationships. And like you say, it's not a love triangle, as you say, because I mean I'm up to episode 5 anyway, so it's just 6 I've not seen. But what we can see, you're right. Based on the situation, Eritrea, she plays with. Well, I'm not going to say plays with one or the other. She plays off with one or the other, depending on how it's going to benefit her in a way. That's how it sort of.
Very true. That's totally the truth.
Yep, cool. Okay, so Trudy, she's asked, what effect did you think Eritrea has had in not having a real family and just being treated as an asset rather than a daughter? What kind of effect has that had on Eritrea?
I think it's scarred her a lot for obvious reasons. She's never known what love was, what generosity was, what affection was, and it just made her into the person she is, a very distrustful person. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to find what she knows is missing in her, and as we've said, that's when she sort of realizes by meeting all of these different people. And so the first part is what was the question again? Sorry?
It was, what effect do you think not having a real family has had on Eritrea? Because she was also grew up in the Rovers, with the Rovers, so.
Yeah. So that basically sums it up. Because we've spoken a lot before about how she treats people because of that. So yeah, it's basically just made her a really distrustful person, in summary.
Okay, excellent. The next one's quite similar as well to what we've talked about from Adeline and Shay Fernandez, and they were just asking what the common points between Eritrea and yourself are. We touched on it before, but yeah, elaborate.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, then again, we're really similar in other ways too, because again, she's vulnerable. I think I'm quite vulnerable too, sensitive, and sensible, I think would be the word in this case.
Yeah.
Or both, or no. That's a good one. But at any rate, they're both fragile would be the word. And we're both perseverant. She obviously is fighting to get away from all of that. She wants her freedom, and she's not gonna surrender. She's gonna get it. It's her objective. It's her goal. No matter what, she's gonna be free. That's what she wants. And in my case, I'm quite perseverant too, in the sense that I've always marked myself goals, and I've always tried to finish what I start, like school and studying law and pursuing acting too, since I was really small. So we both have a lot of similarities.
And sort of moving on, but say with the character type thing of how you like the character. Kaz from Brazil has asked, what do you expect? What do you like most about your character? Again, I guess you can flows in from the last sort of question. And
well, I think she's got amazing comments. She's quite sarcastic at times. I think that offers a little bit of, in a way, comedic relief, because she says what she thinks. She doesn't shut up. And that's something I like about her. She speaks out for herself, and she's sarcastic and funny too. So, yeah, that's one of the things I enjoy about her.
Excellent. Kaz also wants to. Sorry, I'm passing on the comments here. So Kaz would like to also say that you're beautiful and keep up the great work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, so Mayled Maravilla, what do you like most about working with Poppy?
Well, she's really professional. I mean, I really only have good words about her because it was a really hard shoot, and perhaps for her and Austin, it took a big toll on them because they were there from the beginning to end. Mm-hmm. As we can see in the season, I start off pretty light as my character is introduced. Yeah. So she's super hardworking. She's great on set too because she's always open to dialogue, to speaking about the characters, to even changing things according to how we felt about the scenes. Okay. So they're all such honestly a healthy bunch, and we've all really enjoyed working with each other.
Excellent. And the next question kind of falls in with there. It's from Bella Thorne Saint. There's two parts to it. The first was, what was it like filming such a beautiful country as New Zealand? And the second one was about Poppy and what do you guys do to have fun on set?
Well, New Zealand's awesome. I mean, I love the country. It's probably one of my favorite countries. It's got amazing people, and I'm not just saying because it's true, and I always heard people saying, oh, New Zealand's so great, people are so nice, but it's so true. Everyone's so warm and welcoming, and the actual, the land is beautiful. It's like you're watching a 3D movie in the jungle because everything is so green, so bright, so alive, so nature-filled. So it was such a blessing to shoot over there. And then, what did we do on set? Well, when we were on set, frankly, it was really busy. We were always there shooting or on standby. But we really got along with the crew. So we bonded with the crew. We had a great time with them. Everyone was willing to give their best and really kind and understanding. So we would just chat up with the crew, have lunch with them, and spend a lot of time with them too.
Okay, excellent. Any kind of practical jokers on set at all? That you're allowed to talk about?
Practical joke? There were so many jokes going on. I mean, I remember I actually heard Poppy's podcast, and she mentions how it got giggly sometimes, and it's true. I mean, it's we were all so happy to be there, frankly, that the atmosphere was really light and cheerful, so there were a lot of jokes, and yeah.
Right. If you could be any character from Shannara, who would you actually be?
Well, I would say probably I would love to be a female Al-Anon, because he's a character I love. I think he's so interesting, too, and I love the way Manu portrays him. So I would probably like to try a female Al-Anon if such thing exists, per se.
Awesome. There were female druids. As you're speaking to someone who's in North Wales with lots of druid monuments still around, you should come to North Wales and you can be a female Al-Anon for it.
That's up to the Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay. She would also like to know if you could say something in Catalan, because she is also a proud fan from Barcelona.
Nice, of course. Hola, Arantxa, soc l'Ivana Baquero i moltes gràcies pel missatge. Un petó.
Excellent, thank you. I didn't understand. All I can say, I'm probably sure from a lot of male fans and female fans, is as sorry, that's just the accent. It's just I've worked with people from the Catalan region before, and it's a gorgeous dialect and gorgeous accent. So sorry.
Yeah, it's actually a language.
I know. Sorry, rude of me to call it a dialect then as well.
Don't you dare! I have my daggers here. But yeah, it's such a great place to grow up in. It's like the countryside almost of Spain, because it's got mountains, it's got the sea, there's obviously Barcelona, which is very multicultural. But anyway, I'll stop talking about my city.
That's fine, you can carry on. Okay, Nelson Gellor would like to ask, where will you put your roots down when the time comes?
I really don't know, because the good thing is I've had the opportunity to travel to a lot of places, and I fall in love really quickly with places because I adapt pretty fast. So I remember loving Mexico for a while, then it was like Japan, and now I love New Zealand. So I don't know. I'm quite young to think about that.
I was going to say you've got a long time to think before that comes.
What I know is that it's going to probably be a quiet place. If I ever, decide to settle down and raise a family, I'd rather it being a quiet place than a big, busy city.
Cool. It would be nice, I think, to stay somewhere nice and quiet. It's quiet in North Wales, I keep telling you. I'm kidding. So.
Like the dunes.
Yeah. I actually only live 400 metres from the sea as well. Not quite the same as the Mediterranean, but...
Not the same.
Yeah, if you come in there, you come out glowing, so...
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Car has asked, what's the best part of being on the Shannara Chronicles?
For one, I think the best part is being able to travel to a place like New Zealand to shoot, which is something not many people get to do. And I never thought I'd have the opportunity to travel so far away from my home to shoot a show. That's for one. And then obviously everything that comes with the production in general, being able to portray the role, being able to participate in such a special MTV project, and just being able to also... all the positive feedback that we're all getting from social media, different articles and critiques, it just fills you so much as an actress, makes you feel so good, makes you feel like your work is appreciated, and it's hard sometimes to put your work out there for the whole world to see in such a big production, but it's been so positive and so overwhelmingly good that those are the good things about, being able to participate in a show like Shannara.
Excellent. Must be so, as I say, so... I mean, I work, with the normal job acting's a normal job. For you it is, anyway. For us it's the dream. I know, I was speaking to Jed, and, his 6 hours of sitting in a makeup chair getting his prosthetics on, I can see, yeah, okay, maybe not as glamorous as everyone thinks at 1 a.m, when you have to get up and trawl out for a 15-hour day. Yeah, I can imagine when you're actually trying to put that in front of the camera and you're realising how many millions of people are actually going to see that at the end of the day. It must be pretty intimidating.
Yeah, and the fact that there's also fans from the books, people watching out for every single move you're doing, but it's been positive, as I said. So that was one of the big gifts, I would say, from the show.
Excellent. Moving on to I Have a Pizza for Iv. She's asked, what do Eritrea... we've already found what do Eritrea and Ivana have in common, so we've answered that one earlier. What did you feel like when you were told you were going to play Eritrea?
It was anotherworldly. I mean, the process, in summary, is that I taped from Spain or Portugal. I taped myself for the show. We sent it out there. We didn't really get a reply for a couple of months. I guess obviously they were looking for many, many girls. I did hear they looked at so many people for these roles.
Right.
And then they suddenly call me and they're like, we want you to travel to LA for a chemistry test with Austin Butler. Nice. And obviously we need this done quickly. So I traveled over there for a single afternoon to suddenly audition with Austin for the show. And I went to the airport. I was sitting there about to board, literally, and he called me saying, hey, it was actually my manager who called me. He was like, I want to let you know that you got the role. And I was like, oh my God. I thank God for the good news, because it was a 12-hour flight. Had they been bad, I don't know how I would have taken it, but it was just, as I said, like anotherworldly, like such a good feeling.
Excellent. Like you said, it was the kind of character that you dreamed to play anyway, so it must, you can imagine the elation and Yeah, especially with a 12-hour flight home, with a smile on your face rather than sitting there feeling nervous and waiting for a phone call. Cool. So, what characteristics of Shannara caught your attention?
Well, as I've said, obviously everything that has to do with fantasy I love, and this book is a clear example of that, of the elves, the creatures that I've always read when I was a little girl. That's one of the things that initially attracted me, and I guess in general the storyline, the characters, Eritrea, everything was very tempting and positive. So I just really, really wanted to be able to be part of it.
Excellent. And the last one from I Have a Pizza for Iv. I do love that name. Who's your best friend in the cast? Can you say best friend, or are you going to upset somebody?
No. I mean, obviously we all got along, and it's true, and we do, and we all love each other so much. We were like a family. We were there for 6 months, and we lived in the same hotel for 6 months or 5. So we were pretty much a big family. But I would say, probably like Marcus Vanko, who plays Bandon, James Trevina Brown, who plays Crispin. They were great mates. But everyone, we just got along really well. The fact that we all trusted each other very much, I think definitely shows. Because there's always the classic examples where they don't get along and there's no chemistry, which, it's unfortunate. But in this case, we didn't have to act it out. We all just had such good chemistry and good vibes.
Excellent. Cool. It does show.
Thank you.
So David Jenkins and Justina Bandler are both talking about chemistry. How does Eritrea feel about the chemistry between Ambly and Will? Again, we touched on it earlier. I know it's slightly differently worded.
Yeah. Well, and I would say in summary, she feels initially jealous, and that's a fact, and that shows further on when she. Well, I don't want to spoil, but we've already seen episode 4. But anyway, the point is, she initially feels kind of jealous. And then as we've spoken, it sort of develops. It's not jealousy anymore. There's more things at stake. Sometimes she has to side with one. Sometimes she has to side with the other. So it gets more complex. And then it gets to a point where it doesn't bother her as much because there's more important things to do. There's a quest. There's this mission of saving the world. So it changes. It develops. But she's definitely not happy at the beginning because she's the guy she wants, and she's learned that if she pursues something, she can get it. So who's this girl getting in between them?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. No, great. Thank you. Amber Surratt, I do apologise, I know I'm rattling through these questions. There's so many of them today. Amber Surratt has asked, your character Eritrea is a role model for many women watching the series. Growing up, did you have a strong female role model that inspired you and still inspires you?
Thank her for the comment, by the way. It's awesome to hear that. Well, I've grown up surrounded by women, that's for sure. My parents are together, I can totally say that. So I've had my dad in my life. But I've been surrounded pretty much by women because I've lived with my mom's family, and she's got all sisters, and they all have daughters. So I guess that sort of made me feel like there's nothing, or the way I was raised, like there's nothing women can't do. Like they're all such fighters, and they're judges, they're architects. So I've been taught that we're just as, that we can have the same path that a man can take. So I don't have a particular female role. It's just something that was ingrained in my head from when I was really little.
All right, cool. That's a really good answer. And judges and architects, and you with an actress and law. It's it's a huge, intelligent family you've got. It sounds really
engineer. So I mean, there's no one who's an artist in my family.
So you're the sole artist.
Odd one, yeah.
Excellent. But as I say, you studied law, so you
yes,
you've still got that side of it as well.
I still have to keep that side of me.
Excellent. So James, who is at 5H Believe, has asked, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I hate this question when they ask me in an interview, so...
Because I change my mind all the time. Every year I give a different answer. But in general, I definitely would love to be able to work in the States and in Spain,
Mm-hmm.
to work around both countries. Hopefully, I mean, all I can ask for is to be able to live doing what I like, which is acting, and hopefully I'll have finished my major by then. So yeah, just pretty simple. I don't know. I don't want to be too wild because, as I said, I keep changing my mind all the time as to what I want to do, where I want to go. But yeah.
Excellent. So what would you what do you do to just get yourself into character?
Well, that's a question they've asked me before, and it's weird because, for one, what is true is that I love to prepare my character beforehand really well. I always learn all of my script before I even start the whole shooting process. I never like to do it on the go, and I like to have my character down so that when I'm on set, I can just easily get in and out of it. So the thing is, when I'm on set, I don't actually have a technique or anything I do to get into character. It's just, I guess, something instinctive that clicks because I've already worked on the character so much.
All right, okay. It kind of makes a lot of sense as well. So to get yourself prepared as much as that as well. I think it seems to be a generic thing that a lot of people just sort of focus and get yourselves ready, so that as soon as that camera goes,
It's there, yeah.
it's there straight on. Who was the first? This is again from James. Sorry, who was the first person you told when you got the role?
My parents. I was able to sneak a call right before boarding.
Right.
To that conversation. So it was my parents, both of them. I got them both.
Excellent. Bet they're proud.
Yeah, they were so happy because they were probably really worried about me getting a no. No, I'm kidding. I mean, we actors audition all the time, but they were really happy because they knew I really wanted this role.
All right, brilliant. Excellent. So Mike Dunham is asking, what was the biggest compliment you've ever received?
I think not. I don't know if it's the greatest one, but the one that definitely stuck to my mind is one that Guillermo del Toro actually said to me once.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You have the mind of a 40-year-old," and I was 12, so I took that as a compliment.
Yeah, I would. That means you've got a good head on your shoulders and switched on. So at 12, you had the same mind as I am now. That's scary.
Yeah, technically. I stopped growing though. I probably got stuck at 12.
Well, I've gone into reverse. I'm 40, and I've probably got the mind of a 15-year-old.
That happens with men sometimes.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, cool. Mike Dunham. Oh, sorry, that was Mike Dunham's. Tammy's has asked, has Eritrea ever been hugged before? Growing up with someone as cold as Cephalo, it seems very unlikely.
I mean, on a social sort of atmosphere, yes, but I don't think she's ever been hugged with affection. So, no, I would say she's never been properly hugged.
As I say, growing up with the Rovers, you wouldn't really think that would be the case, so.
Yeah.
True.
You'd probably be just like punched in the shoulder or
yeah.
the face. So.
Yeah, I'd say probably the face would be more appropriate from what the Rovers were like. Green has asked, until you killed them all, that was. Green's asked, what was it like for you adapting to a new culture and country after being so successful in Spain?
Well, as I said, I've been working since I was 8.
Yeah.
And I've had the opportunity to travel a lot when shooting movies. Portugal, and I've even worked in the States before. And I think New Zealand's not even that different from Spain because, they both have the sea, they both have lovely people. So it wasn't hard to adapt at all. It's just part of my job. It's something that I've learned how to deal with. And when I was 18, my mom's always been with me up until since I was 18 that she stopped coming with me to shoot. So I got used to being alone and to, as I said before, just adapt real quick to different places.
Awesome. A good place to be is when you can just adapt in quickly like that as well, especially in the job that you're in. It's just, you're not phased by anything as you move to a new place.
And it's like a muscle. I mean, I think people, by just meeting different people and learning about different cultures and traveling, really grow that muscle. And then you just end up just learning how to live in different countries and adapt super quick and just to be a bit resourceful, like Eritrea.
There you go. Something in common. Ivan's asked, would you like, I'm going to really pronounce Guillermo's name wrong, but would you like him to do direct an episode of Shannara Season 2?
Not 1, but 10.
That would be pretty cool.
Love to. He's definitely one of the greatest directors I've ever worked with. And he's got this amazing mind, so imaginative, that this is definitely a kind of project he'd more than nail. So, yeah, of course, I'd love to work with him again.
Excellent, cool. He's a very, very unique and talented director as well. He's even going back to Pan's Labyrinth, that was just one phenomenal film. And like you say, Shannara would be right up that street, I think.
He's a master in his craft, yes. He's one of the...
Definitely. So, Kenzie, these are some comedy questions I think have come in for you. How many onesies do you own, and what's your favourite pizza?
I own 4 onesies, and my favorite pizza would, as probably my fans know, I love pizza, so it's hard to choose. But I think Hawaiian would be my favorite with pineapple on top.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Nice and light. Cool. So, Maddie Koss, who would just like to say that she adores you as well. Batman or Superman?
Yes, Batman, because he's like a little bit darker.
Fair enough, yeah. Superman's always been a bit too goody two-shoes for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Superman. I really like him, but then I think Batman is just more of my style of acting, I would guess. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And this one, from an Englishman, speaking with a Spanish lady, tea with or without milk? This is obviously Maddie's question as well, but I can see the 2 different opinions coming.
With milk.
Wow, okay.
Yes, I've been well brought up.
Okay, cool, fair enough. See, you can stay in my good books now, fast.
Yeah, I'm going to Cardiff now, to Wales, sorry.
Okay, so Gemma has asked, if Eritrea could turn into any creature, and it can be a mythical one, what would you choose? And also then, what would you yourself choose?
That's an awesome question, because that's actually one of the character's sort of traits, per se, that I wrote down when I was preparing for the role.
Cool.
I thought she'd be a panther, because she's dark and secretive and quick when she needs to be a panther. And what would I be? Wow. Well, as of lately, I would like to be a horse in New Zealand. Like, the ideal life.
Fair enough. There's lots and lots of expanse to run around on there.
Yeah, they're probably really happy, most of them.
Excellent. Being a panther, I could definitely see that being Eritrea. There's a story. I came face to face with a wild panther. Wow. I know. I'll just throw. It was must have been about 10 years ago. I used to do reenacting for World War II. We used to train at weekends, and there was actually an escaped one from the zoo, which they told me about an hour before we were supposed to go to bed, to camp out in this field.
In Wales?
No, this is in where was it, near Coventry, so it's middle of England somewhere. And I got up to go out. There's like walking across the field, and I shone my torch into the bush, and there was these 2 eyes set about this far apart. Well, maybe a bit wider. 2 glowing eyes just looking at me from a trench where there was a whole load of trees, and I was literally about 10 feet from it, and I just stood there, and it just stared back at me, and I was obviously there was a lot of fear, so I just suddenly saw this thing, so I started backing away slowly, keeping my eyes focused on it all the time. I called some of my friends over, and they stood and they saw it, and just as they came, shone the torch back, and you could see its eyes look, and then it bounded away, and the leaps must have been 6 to 8 feet between each time it stared back at us, and it just ran off. So really lucky that it decided to run. But yeah, I was literally 10 feet away from an escaped panther.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. I mean, in a creepy way. But it's so interesting. It's such a weird experience, but you came out well, so...
Yeah, I did, yeah, thankfully.
It's really fantastic, and not many people get to live that.
Yeah, no, I've got to say, I did open a beer. I didn't drink much, but I got back to there and I had to open a can of beer or two and just sit there and go, calm the shaking hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a yeah. Sorry, you mentioned Panther. It sprang to mind then. Sorry, that was a unique experience. So I could actually put Eritrea and see you in sort of that sneaky type role as well. Okay, Emmy has asked, do you remember how you felt when the director called action for the first scene in the film?
Do and well, just I do remember which scene it was. It's actually the first scene ever for Eritrea, which is the
Mm-hmm.
one where she kills the troll to save Will. And I was really nervous, and I don't usually get nervous, but because it was the culmination of so many things, we'd been there for a month preparing, not only for that scene but for the whole show, getting our like all the wardrobe done and preparing all of this makeup, all of these hair trials, and then to be there and finally do all of that and to start the journey was like wow. And plus, I had hay fever, which is like some sort of allergy to the bush, and
Yeah, that's not going to help.
I didn't know back then, so obviously I wasn't taking anything. So
Right.
it was a little bit of a mess. It was I can say it was nerve wracking, and then it just got better from then on.
Excellent. Yeah, hay fever hits you just when you least expect it, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes, and I didn't even know, so it wasn't ideal. I
Oh,
discovered on that day.
just yeah, pure bad luck. Cool. So Vina Lim has asked, will we get to see more about Eritrea's past?
We will, and a lot of it, a lot.
Awesome.
Say, but it's interesting.
Well, excellent. That'll be good to look forward to. And I think you touched on this question actually earlier on. Is did you do all of your own stunts? I think we, at the very beginning we mentioned that you did as much
Well,
as you could.
not 100%, but we all tried to at least participate in all of them somehow. And then obviously
Hmm.
there were things we couldn't do, so not 100%. I'm not going to take all the credit.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know Manu as well. He's very strong
Yes.
man, not just an actor. He's very strong because I spoke to him and you know, obviously, and he mentioned the same that he tried to do as much of his own stuff because he's very dominant when he comes on and he wants to be. And he was telling me how he strangled someone in an audition
What I was
for Deathstroke.
it's what I was going to say is he's so just lovely in person, and he is on set too. But what I mean is that then suddenly when he gets into character, you can see that he's such a different person, and that he's in the character, feeling the character and its power,
Hmm.
and that was so awesome to watch.
Yeah, I've got to say, watching him, yeah, I've seen him through Crixus and Deathstroke and as Al-Anon, and he really is a focused guy. But yeah, speaking to him, like I speak to all of you, you're just the most adorable, lovely people, and that goes for all of you. You really are. It's just amazing.
It's yeah.
The last question I've got came last night late, and it's from Mr. Jed Brophy at the end of our conversation that we were having. And what was it like hanging out on the Kapiti beaches?
I loved it. The Kapiti beaches are, I don't know, well, just for the record for the listeners, it's a coast in New Zealand. It's the Kapiti Coast
Hmm.
in the west. And it's just so, so beautiful. It's not as windy as it is down there. It's got the best sunsets. I mean, Jet's from there, so that's probably why he's asking.
It was,
But
yeah. He said you were just down there, so
it's one of my favorite places in the world. It's pure beauty. I've never felt so in peace with myself before.
fantastic. I know that New Zealand's somewhere we've been discussing ourselves to come to because you look at that scenery and you can kind of feel like you're in a kind of a heaven-like environment just because of the sheer beauty of it. The blues, the greens, everything just seems so stunning.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes people over there even just take it for granted. But coming from a city myself, I get there and I just can't stop looking at everything around me. And when I drive shotgun in the car, I'm constantly just overwhelmed by the mountains and everything. It's really as fantastic and just glorious as people make it sound.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, thank you. So that actually brings us to the end of all our questions, sadly. Is there anything you'd like to say to your adoring fans, the masses of people who are actually listening, hopefully?
Well, I'd love to tell them all that I really love them so much, and I mean it because as we were saying before, you never know really what's going to happen when you put your work out there, and especially in this profession, there's people that are not always going to like you, people that you will not like your work. You gotta accept that, and to have the support and the love from all these fans, all of these people is just so fulfilling as an actress. It's what makes me want to keep going. So, thank you very much. And for those of you who are fans of Eritrea in particular, it's gonna get better, and you're gonna learn a lot about her.
Awesome! Can't wait to find more out about that Eritrea and see how the show progresses. So, thank you very much, Ivana. That has been absolutely astounding.
It's been great.